Good morning. Can you tell that I have just woken up? If you said no, you're a real one. And if you said yes, well, I guess you're honest at least. But regardless of what you said, I have in fact just woken up and it is 10:47. Not one of my best moments, but that's okay because we're gonna be doing a full freaking reset and I wanna show you all the healthier habits that I've been trying to do lately that I have been falling off of, because as much as I don't wanna do them, they do work. Unfortunately, it is true what they say. When you set your mornings up for success, you are setting your day up for success. So we're gonna get ready together. We're gonna make a healthy breakfast and then we're gonna go to the gym. Today for me is back and biceps, so I'm gonna be giving you guys a full back and biceps workout. You can thank me in advance, okay? If you want that toned back, that hourglass shape, you need to, number one, be training with weights, and number two, be doing that in both your lower body and upper body, okay? I don't know about you, but I want some toned shoulders. But anyway, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, so let's just get straight into it, shall we? Now that our skin is giving glazed donut, that means it's finally time for the makeup, because if your base is not hydrated, you're already setting your makeup up for failure, okay? First up, Makeup by Mario in shade 9W. None of these products are sponsored, but this is my second bottle. I can put it on and wear it every day. So hydrating, so lightweight, and on top of that, never breaks me out. Look at this. I have not a single pimple in sight, and that is how I like it. Next up, because these dark circles aren't gonna hide themselves. We have the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, shade Vanilla. Fun fact, I went to Sephora years ago to go and find a good concealer because the one that I had gotten previously wasn't just giving me the coverage that I needed, it wasn't giving me the brightness that I needed, and I had heard a lot of people saying that they really liked this one. So I was looking at the shades of this one, and then I had picked one out, and it was damn near orange, okay? And I just didn't like it. I was like, I don't know, I'm just not vibing with the shade. It just doesn't look good on my skin. Well, that was because I got in a shade that was completely incompatible with my undertones. Fast forward 5 minutes.
5 minutes later.
This Sephora employee comes up to me, bless her heart, and she's asking me about the concealer that I'm looking at, you know, if I need some help finding the right shade. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. And I show her the shade and she just pauses, and I just knew then. She was like, oh yeah, like this one's great, but there are a few other ones that might help give you a bit more brightness. And so she pulls this shade, which in the moment I just thought it was so light. I was like, there's no way that's gonna work for me. She puts it on my skin, she blends it out, and I'm like, oh, like that actually kind of worked. So ever since then, it has been my ride or die concealer. The formula is perfect. I never have any wrinkling or creasing. Next up, after that, get some warmth in here, bring some life back. That is what bronzer is for. This is the LYS bronzing stick. I don't know if you all have ever seen her or if I'm just chronically online, probably the latter. But I saw this one girl, she has this really big makeup platform and she used to make all of these viral videos using this specific bronzing stick. And so I would see them and I'd be like, oh my God, like I just need that bronzing stick. Her makeup looks so good. Finally, I ran out of my lash bronzer and I just wanted to try a new one. I was feeling brave and I just swatch it in the store. Not even the cotton swabs in the store could get it off of my hands. This formula is so strong, I can only dab it with a brush and then just dab it on my face wherever I want. Like I cannot apply this directly to my face. After getting this one, I got another bronzing stick and I have already used all of it up. That one was the Charlotte Tilbury bronzing wand. I told myself that I'm not allowed to get another one until I finish this one, so that's what I'm doing. But if you are looking for a bronzer, just get the Charlotte Tilbury one, okay? It is worth the price. I am going to pay $40 for it again. I'm not proud of it, but that's all I have to say. And I can't tell how this looks on camera. I feel like I look a little weird, but trust, it looks okay in real life, I promise. Finally, maybe powder is gonna fix whatever's going on here. We have Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I just put this on with a powder puff first. Ugh, ignore how ugly my powder puff is. If you ever find yourself breaking out every single night, like I myself used to for years, it might just be your beauty blender is dirty. I now wash my beauty blender every single time before I use it. So like every morning after I wash my face, I'm washing that beauty blender too. It keeps it clean, so every time I'm blending in my makeup, I'm not just blending grime into my skin too. But as you can see, the same does not go for my powder puff. I don't know, it's been totally fine so far, but I do need to wash this again. Anyway, after we put that all on pretty much everywhere, I'm gonna take a fat brush, okay? Look at this, fat. And really just brush it all out. It's okay, take it everywhere. And you might be looking at these lashes and thinking, oh, they're so wonderful. They are, but it's because they're not mine. I had bad lashes. Like, I always had bad lashes, if I'm being honest. They would never hold a curl. Mascara, honestly, hardly even helped. So since then, in very recent months actually, I have discovered lash clusters and they have saved me. They have, that's honestly all I have to say. But I do still curl them every morning just to, like, I don't know, make sure that the lash clusters is still stuck on there after a whole night of sleep. There have been some nights when, you know, I wake up and, well, a cluster is gone, but that's easily fixable with just putting on a new set. They usually last me like 5 days though, and I just love feeling pretty as soon as I wake up. Like, I rise out of bed and I don't have to put on makeup in order to not look like a little bully or something. I am such a catfish, honestly, when I'm thinking about it. This hair isn't mine. Naturally, my hair looks like a rat's nest. Straight out of the shower. Like, there's no curl pattern, no wave pattern. It's a mess, honestly. So I've spent years growing it out ever since, fun fact, my mom forced me to get a bob when I was like 6 years old. She said, I'm tired of taking care of your hair. Cut it all off. And that was that. I cried. I'm not doing very nice things for my mom in this video, am I? She's really a sweet woman. It's just, you know, she had enough. But ever since my hair, it has been one of my points of pride. Okay, I take pride in how long I've been able to grow it out. No extensions, no nothing, but this is straightened. I use a lot of heat on my hair. Sometimes I can't tell if that makes it look dead or not, but that's that. Anyway, we're getting off track. I don't know about you, but for me, no morning is truly a morning without coffee. So let's make some coffee, shall we? So actually, I lied. Every morning before my coffee, I take probiotics, one of the many healthy habits that I have been falling off of recently. And I say that I take these for health, right? But I'm gonna be so honest. I just have this every single morning because it tastes that good to me. I have heard so many people online saying that they hate the taste of this, but I love it. I can't explain it. My coffee used to be the highlight of my morning, and it still is, kind of, but the true highlight is this stuff right here. Anyway, now, morning coffee tutorial. First, get your mug, and the secret sauce, vanilla syrup. I personally use sugar-free. If that's not your vibe, you can totally use the regular, or I've even seen so many recipes of people just making their own at home, but I load this bad boy up. Yeah. Now that we have our glorious cup of gold coffee creamer, I have been on the Chobani coffee creamers for about a year now. My favorite used to be their white mocha, but I recently switched it up and got the s'mores because I just saw it at the store and I thought, who doesn't want s'mores in their coffee? I personally never measure. I measure with the heart, and that's that. Give it a little stir. It's perfect. 3 ingredients: syrup, coffee, creamer. Some of you girlies are doing too much in the morning, or I don't know. If you like it like that, hey, don't let me rain on your parade. You do that, but me personally, I'm not a morning person, okay? Anything with more than 4 steps in the morning, it's already too many steps for me. I can feel the life flowing back in my veins, but on to our next healthy habit of the morning. We have one of my personal favorites. I set you down. And now I was talking to my therapist, which I know all baddies have therapists, right? I don't really know. But yes, I do seriously talk to a therapist. And this is a new thing for me, at least. But mostly I just wanted to start talking to one because constantly I feel like my brain never turns off. I struggle a lot with stuff like that. But an interesting thing when I was talking to him, yes, it's a man. He's very sweet, very kind. I was talking to him and he was talking about patients in studies for memory loss. One of the biggest differences that was observed between them were one group wrote every day. And they specifically wrote down their words or their thoughts, and then the other group did not at all. And the group that did write every day about just a page or more, their memory was noticeably improved by like a lot. And so I'm not necessarily getting the writing part in because me personally, I find that my thoughts, they move too fast for me to just like be writing them on paper. I've tried it before and then it's kind of like my train of thought just gets lost. So I personally journal on my computer. I literally do it in a Google Doc, and I don't know know how many pages it is by now. Look back and see 489 pages. It's just so interesting to see how my thoughts have changed so much. Sometimes I use prompts, but a lot of the times I just write whatever comes to mind. I've written about my dreams, my goals, how a particular interaction made me feel one day. You would be surprised what happens when you just let your thoughts roam free for 15-30 minutes. And this used to be a daily occurrence for me, but now it's been more of like a once a week thing, but I really want to get back into being more consistent with it. So I'm gonna have a nice little journal sesh with coffee, and then what we're gonna do is change into our gym outfits. After that, just getting into my gym clothes, like it puts me in the mindset to get locked in, if that makes any sense. And we're gonna make some breakfast, we're gonna make some yummy food, and then we're gonna get straight into the workout. So let's get it. Alrighty, and I've just pulled out the mini mic for this, so I don't know, hopefully the audio is a bit better. And for this, look at how cute. Isn't this just like adorable? But anyway, gym outfit time. And for any of you who were curious thinking, oh my gosh, well, what you're wearing right now is already just so freaking cute. Top, Brandy Melville. Bottoms are from Skims. They're like little fold over flares. I have them in black too, and I wish that I had them in every other color. Anyway, we're going to ignore the mess in the back here, but we have, first off, twist front bra from Define, as well as the 4.5-inch impact shorts from Define. Both of these are in the color espresso. Then over that, we're gonna put on these sweatpants because the gym that I work out in is cold. It's like an igloo in there, which honestly I should be grateful for, but does not make it the best for being in just a sports bra and shorts. And I don't know about you, but I like wearing my sweatpants anyway. My all-time favorite place to get sweatpants from, Young LA. While I do have a sponsorship with Define, I unfortunately do not have a sponsorship with Young LA yet, but it's coming. You mark my words, okay? Anyway, without further ado, on the count of 3, you're gonna double tap the screen and we're gonna be changed just like that. 3, 2, 1. Oh, gorgeous, amazing, beautiful. I love this sports bra because it's open back. This is gonna be amazing for back day. I love the fit of the sweatpants, just everything about this. This is probably my favorite gym outfit combo. But now that we're all changed, let's make some food. And then this is her. So we have first just a toasted everything bagel from the brand Royo. I buy those at Whole Foods. 10 grams of protein, 30 grams of fiber per bagel. Insane. Then we have some avocado on there for some healthy fats. One of my goals recently has been incorporating more healthy fats into my meals. And then also on top, we have the best cottage cheese of all time. I used to do the low fat, but now again, trying to incorporate more fats in my diet. We got the full fat version, which also just tastes better in my opinion. And then more seasonings than you could count on top. All right, I do not play about my seasonings, but yeah, this is her. Over 30 grams of protein, which has been one of the biggest game changers for me in my fitness journey, just aiming for at least 30 grams of protein in the first meal of the day. But we're gonna enjoy this and then we're gonna be on the road to the gym. Before, honestly, I do any workout, I always like to first just get some stretching in, especially if I'm sore from the day before, and just kind of stretch out those areas. So I hit glutes like 2 days ago and they are still sore. So even if it is like, say, my upper body day, I'm still kind of stretching out my legs so I can keep that mobility there. Just taking at least 5-10 minutes of stretching in whatever way you can. And then, just kind of get warmed up, get ready for the lift that we are about to hit. I said back in biceps, maybe throw a bit of shoulders in there. I'm not super strict about my upper body days, which I know is probably ill-advised. You should be sticking to a very consistent program for the best results, but after 4 years in the gym, I'm kind of like, I just use the machines that are open and I hit what I can as hard as I can. With that being said, I always try to start with at least a compound movement, typically one that I can load with more weight. So I'm thinking either lat pull downs or some kind of row. So let's see what happens. Alrighty, so we ended up getting about 5 steps a
away from the Smith machine for some bent over rows before someone else decided that they wanted to use the Smith machine. And I get it, I know, it's just an amazing thing. We love the Smith machine. It's a highly coveted place to be. But that's all right, because that just means we got some lat pull downs. Now, I love these because, as the name suggests, they train your lats, which by growing along with your legs, you know, your glutes, your quads, and some other key parts of your upper body, such as your shoulders and your upper back, that all really helps create that hourglass figure, that hourglass shape. So I've already done my warm-up set. I'm thinking we are gonna do about 3 to 4 sets of these, keeping it in between the 8 to 10 rep range. And for these in particular, I really like to focus on that emphasis of the stretch at the top and trying to keep those movements slow and controlled, as well as focusing on that mind to muscle connection with the lats. Because occasionally, if I'm not mindful about that, I can notice my traps trying to take over, which obviously is not the muscle group that I'm trying to train. But yeah, those are just a few of the key things that I focus on. I'm gonna do a couple sets of these, and then before you know it, we're gonna be getting into our next exercise. Alrighty, the Smith machine was still taken, but I still wanna do bent over rows. And so we're gonna be doing these with a free weight today. I'm gonna be raw dogging it. I personally prefer the Smith machine just because I think it offers a bit more stability, but you know, it's not the end of the world if you just have to do it with a regular barbell, if that's really what you want to do. That is really what I want to do, so that's what we're doing. Anyway, I'm just gonna warm up with just the barbell, no weight. I'm gonna go down until the bar is about past your knees and then row up towards your belly button, trying to pin those shoulders back. Get that good stretch at the bottom, good contraction at the top. Do 4 to 6 of these. And then similar to the lat pull down, we're gonna start with a little bit of weight and then continue moving up. So don't make fun of me, but this is just a 10-pound plate. These are hard, all right? It does not take a lot. Doing these with an underhand grip instead of an overhand grip. I don't know why, but for some reason it just helps me feel it so much better in my lats and my upper back instead of my traps. Because again, I'm not really trying to train my traps as much. Obviously they still get some level of activation, but they're just not my priority. I'm thinking we're gonna do 3 sets of 10 to 12-ish, I don't know, 8 to 12. And then just like that, again, we're gonna be on to our next exercise. I feel like we're just moving so fast. Oh, wow, and you might be asking yourself, how did we end up here? Well, I decided, you know, it might be back day, but I also wanna get a bit of shoulders in there. And what better way to do that than some classic dumbbell lateral raises. Now, we just got 10 pounds here, and you might be asking yourself, only 10 pounds? Well, yes, if you've ever done a lateral raise, honestly, ever, then you would know they're more humbling than they look, to be quite honest. And in my opinion, less is always more when it comes to this exercise. Like, you want to be getting that really good peak contraction at the top of the movement. And so me personally, when I find myself going too heavy on these, it can be really difficult to get that good contraction. So instead, I usually go for a lighter weight and then just a higher rep range. Of course, that's just personal preference. You know, you do you. But yeah, we're probably gonna do about 3 to 4 sets of these. Again, higher rep range, thinking 10 to 12. And then we're just gonna get into our last exercise. We already did lat pull downs. We already did some barbell rows. So I'm not really feeling another compound movement. If anything, it'll probably just be more arms focused since we're already getting a bit of shoulders. But yeah, let's see what happens. And just like that, we are at the final exercise of this workout. Now, don't get me wrong. I love training triceps, okay? I love the look of a nice toned tricep, but today I decided the biceps just need some love, all right? And also, who doesn't love the look of a nice toned bicep? I do. So we're gonna start on some bicep curls. Occasionally, I will do these seated with some dumbbells, but you know, I figured change of scenery, right? Gotta keep you guys on your toes, but regardless, I always try to focus on getting that really good contraction at the top, as well as that really good stretch at the bottom. Try to extend the arms fully before coming back up again. And then also another thing that I try to focus on is keeping those elbows at my sides and making sure that my biceps are doing most of the work. So I'm not really swinging my body. I'm more so making sure that all of that movement is going through the contraction of those biceps. But we're gonna do probably 3 or 4 sets of these, depending on how many I can actually crank out, you know, in each set. And then after I finish these up, we're gonna real quick get into the finisher for this workout, and then we are going to be all done. All right, and boom. You might find yourself asking, well, what is the finisher to this workout like? I thought we were done. Well, kind of. I've talked about this on my short form page before, which if you aren't following them, I would recommend that you you do. It's a lot of fun over there, if I do say so myself, okay? I'll have that linked in the description. But one of the biggest game changers in my fitness journey was finally figuring out what kind of cardio worked for me and the kind that I could stay consistent with. So a little backstory about me. At the very beginning of my fitness journey, the only thing that I did was cardio. And the only thing that I did for cardio was run. I tortured myself by forcing myself to run at least a mile every day, which was insane because it was also outside in the middle of the Central Texas heat, which if you have not experienced, it's kind of like running in the middle of a sauna, but like the humidity is at 85% and it feels a little bit like you're suffocating. So it's safe to say that didn't last very long, okay? I did that for a couple months before then I got into weight training and I said, screw cardio, I am not doing cardio, I don't need it. And it was like that for years. I saw a lot of gains in my muscle, but I still wasn't necessarily seeing the changes that I wanted to see, which was I had the muscle, but I still had a pretty decent amount of body fat over it, partially because my nutrition wasn't where it could have been at, which is a whole nother video in and of itself. But after doing some more research, finally deciding, okay, I'm gonna give cardio another go, but I'm gonna try it different this time. I gave a bunch of different forms of cardio a shot. I did interval sprints, I did the Stairmaster, I even tried cycling, but none of it really sticked until I just found incline walking, okay? And this is a particular kind of cardio called LISS cardio, also known as low impact steady state cardio. So the routine that finally changed everything for me is walking on the treadmill, just walking for 30 minutes at speed 2.8 to 3 miles per hour or more on an incline of 3 or more. That is literally all I do 5 to 6 times a week, 30 minutes. And when I tell you the actual progress that I had been waiting so long to see, along with a couple changes in my diet and nutrition, because that does play a pretty substantial role as well, it completely changed the game for me. And it was just like finally unlocking the key. So if you haven't given incline walking a try, I really would encourage you to, but truly the best form of cardio is the one that you enjoy, all right? If you enjoy the Stairmaster and that's the one that you can stay consistent with, then do it. Because seriously, the best cardio is the one that you do consistently. Consistency over everything else, all right? But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little reset with me. I hope that maybe you found a tip or two maybe useful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Any video suggestions, okay? I'm always open. I always want to hear what you guys want to see, but yeah, I'm gonna finish up this cardio and head on home, probably make some more food because this protein goal isn't gonna hit itself. But yeah, subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one.